Dear Mr. Henshaw, page 23, November 26. Mr. Henshaw, if our TV was fixed, I would be looking at highway patrol, but it isn't, so here are some more answers from my rotten brain. Ha ha. Number 5. Do you have any pets? I do not have any pets. My teacher says always answer questions in complete sentences. When Mom and Dad got divorced and Mom got me, Dad took Bandit because Mom said she couldn't work and look after a dog. And Dad said he likes to take Bandit in his truck because it is easier to stay awake on long hauls if he has him to talk to. I really miss Bandit, but I guess he's happier riding around with Dad. Like the father said, in ways to amuse a dog, dogs get pretty bored just lying around the house all day. That is what Bandit would have to do with Mom and me gone so much. Bandit likes to ride. That's how we got him. He just jumped into Dad's cab at a truck stop in Nevada and sat there. He had a red bandana around his neck instead of a collar, so we called him Bandit. Sometimes I lie awake at night listening to the gas station pinging, and thinking about Dad and Bandit hauling tomatoes or cotton bales on Interstate 5, and I am glad Bandit is there to keep Dad awake. Have you ever seen Interstate 5? It is straight and boring with nothing much but cotton fields and a big feedlot that you can smell a long way before you come to it. It is so boring that the cattle on the feedlot don't even bother to moo. They just stand there. They don't tell you that part in school when they talk about California's great Central Valley. I'm getting writer's cramp from all of this writing. I'll get to number 6 next time. Mom says not to worry about the postage, so I can't use that as an excuse for not answering. Pooped writer Lee Botts. So on page 23 and 24, we have learned more about Bandit and why doesn't Bandit live with Mom and Lee. And we find out in here there was, Mom couldn't take care of him because no one would be home. It seems like Lee is actually really missing Bandit, and but he's happy that he is with his dad to keep his dad some company. Page 25, November 27th. Mr. Henshaw, here we go again. I'll never write another list of questions for an author to answer, no matter what the teacher says. Number 6, do you like school? School is okay, I guess. That's where the kids are. The best thing about 6th grade in my new school is that if I hang in, I'll get out. Number 7, who are your friends? I don't have a whole lot of friends in my new school. Mom says maybe I'm a loner, but I don't know. A new boy in school has to be pretty cautious until he gets to know who's who. Maybe I'm just a boy nobody pays much attention to. The only time anybody paid much attention to me was in my last school when I gave the book report on ways to amuse a dog. After my report, some people went to the library to get the book. The kids here pay more attention to my lunch than they do to me. They really watch to see what I have in my lunch because Katie gives me such good things. I wish somebody would ask me over sometime. After school, I stay around kicking a soccer ball with some of the other kids so they won't think I am stuck up or anything. But nobody asks me over. Number 8. Who is your favorite teacher? I don't have a favorite teacher, but I really like Mr. Fridley. He's the custodian. He's always fair about who gets to pass out milk at lunchtime. And once when he had to clean up after someone who threw up in the hall, he didn't even look cross. He just said, "Looks like somebody's been whooping it up," and started sprinkling sawdust around. Mom used to get mad at Dad for whooping it up, but she didn't mean throwing up. She meant he stayed too long at that truck stop outside of town. 2 more questions to go. Maybe I won't answer them. So there. Ha ha. Lee Botts. So, as you can tell, Lee really doesn't care for school too much, and it doesn't seem like he has a lot of friends. And one of the things that it caught my eye was that people are paying too much attention to Lee's lunch by maybe taking things from his lunch that Katie gives him. So that is pretty sad. It says about his favorite teacher that he really doesn't have one, but the custodian is actually the one that he actually likes at school. Page 27. December 1st, Mr. Henshaw. Okay, you win, because Mom is still nagging me and I don't have anything else to do. I'll answer your last 2 questions if it takes all night. What bothers you? What bothers me about what? I don't know what you mean. I guess I'm bothered by a lot of things. I am bothered when someone steals something out of my lunch bag. I don't know enough about the people in the school to know who to suspect. I am bothered about little kids with runny noses. I don't mean I am fussy or anything like that. I don't know why. I'm just bothered. I am bothered about walking to school slow. The rule is nobody is supposed to be on the school grounds until 10 minutes before the first bell rings. Mom has an early class. The house is so lonely in the morning when she is gone that I can't stand it and leave when she does. I don't mind being alone after school, but I do in the morning before the fog lifts and our cottage seems dark and damp. Mom tells me to go to school, but to walk slow, which is hard work. Once I tried walking around every square in the sidewalk, but that got boring. So did walking heel to toe, heel to toe. Sometimes I walk backwards, except when I cross the street, but I still get there so early I have to sort of hide behind the shrubbery so Mr. Fridley doesn't see me. I am bothered when my dad telephones me and finishes by saying, "Well, keep your nose clean, kid." Why can't he say he misses me? And why can't he call me Lee? I am bothered when he doesn't phone at all, which is most of the time. I have a book of road maps and try to follow his trips when I hear from him. When the TV worked, I watched the weather on the news so I would know if he was driving through blizzards, tornadoes, hail like golf balls, or any of that fancy weather they have other places in the United States. Number 10. What do you wish? I wish somebody would stop stealing the good stuff out of my lunch bag. I guess I wish a lot of other things too. I wish someday Dad and Bandit would pull up in front in the rig. Maybe Dad would be hauling a 40-foot reefer, that means refrigerator trailer, which would make his outfit add up to the 18 wheels altogether. Dad would yell out of the cab, "Come on, Lee! Hop in and I'll give you a lift to school." Then I'll climb in and Bandit would wag his tail and lick my face. We'd take off with all the men in the gas station staring after us. Instead of going straight to school, we'd go barreling along the freeway, looking down on the tops of ordinary cars, then down the off-ramp and back to school just before the bell rang. I guess I wouldn't seem so medium then, sitting up there in the cab in front of a 40-foot reefer. I'd jump out and Dad would say, "So long, Lee. Be seeing you." And Bandit would give a little bark like goodbye. I'd say, "Drive carefully, Dad," like I always do. Dad would take a minute to write in the truck's logbook, "Drove my son to school." Then the truck would pull away from the curb with all the kids staring and wishing their dads drove big trucks too. There, Mr. Henshaw, that's the end of your crummy questions. I hope you are satisfied for making me do all this extra work. Phooey on you, Lee Botts. So we learned a lot more about Lee. He answered the last 2 questions on page 27 through 30. He was saying about what bothers him Some of the things that bother him were that he was actually people stealing or someone stealing out of his lunch bag. Another big thing is that he's walking to school slow. He doesn't like doing that. You can tell what bothers him is being alone at home without his mom in the morning. Another thing that we have learned that he's bothered by his dad, that he just wants his dad to call him more and say that he misses him. And he wishes that his dad would pick him up with Bandit and take him to school one day. So he talks a lot about that actually on page 29 and a little bit on 30. So we're learning a lot about Lee, more and more. We are going to have some discussion questions. And our discussion questions are going to be on the pages that we just read. And the success criteria is I will reread to find the answers to the questions. I will use the words in my question to answer the questions in complete sentences. I will explain my thinking by providing evidence from what I have read. I will begin sentences with a capital letter and capitalize proper nouns, use correct punctuation, spell my words correctly, and reread over my sentences to make sure they make sense. So I'm going to go over these questions, and you have to put them in complete sentences, the answers, for pages 23 to 24, and I gave you the page numbers to actually go back and you can reread. Number 1, why doesn't Bandit live with Lee and his mom? Number 2, how does Lee feel about Bandit living with his dad? Explain. So you have to tell me how Lee feels, but you have to provide evidence on why you think he feels that way by going back into the reading. Number 3, how did Bandit become Lee's dog? So how did Bandit be part of the Botts family? Number 4, how did Bandit get its name? So how did Bandit get his name? So you can find those answers on pages 23 and 24. And then on pages 25 and 26, we have number 5, how does Lee feel about school? Explain. So the thing is, tell me how he feels, and then you got to provide evidence from the story. Number 6, who does Lee like at school, and why does he like this person? So it's a 2-part question, and it needs to be answered. On pages 27 through 30, number 7, what bothers Lee the most at school? Number 8, what bothers Lee about his dad? And number 9, what bothers Lee about himself? So that wraps up the pages that we read today, which were pages 23 through 30.